Hey guys, we are live. Yeah. Okay. So today we are looking at Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies. I've had my eye on Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies and Abraham Lincoln Vampire Slayer. I think they're by the same person, but I'm not sure about Abraham Lincoln Vampire Slayer. But either way, they are kind of a similar idea where you take this like classical story and throw in some kind of fantastical element. And I'm really excited to um, to get to it because I have been slow to get around to it, and here's why. Um, I don't typically love zombies or vampires. So, um, it, even though I was excited about this combination of Pride and Prejudice, but with zombies, I also kind of wondered if I was even going to enjoy the zombies. So I think I'm going to enjoy it, and I think it's going to be fun. This is the type of book that I've been like really enjoying lately. Is just the fun, ridiculous book that like doesn't even take itself seriously. So I'm hoping that I really enjoy this, or at least enjoy it enough that it's worth reading, like that it's just fun. Um, so in the chat, we got somebody saying that it's right up their alley, maybe because it's Pride and Prejudice, or maybe because it's zombies. Not sure. I think because of zombies, because their comment before says zombies. Okay, so let's see. So I already. Oh, why I picked it up. So I didn't just pick it up because like of the idea. I actually, like I said, I wasn't totally into the concept of the zombies, and so I actually ran across this book at the library at the school that I used to work for, and they were getting rid of it. And so, since it had kind of been on my radar, I grabbed it, and then it's been sitting on my shelf. So, I finally just said, you know what, I'm reading it. It's short. This is gonna happen, and I think just like it just looks cool. I don't know really how else to explain it. It's like Victorian era, but with zombies. Um, so that's the story behind why I'm picking it up. And let's see. So um really, like I said, the cover looks awesome. The blurb is well, I've been in the habit of reading the blurbs lately, so let's just throw them out there. It says, "It is a truth universally acknowledged that a zombie in possession of brains must be in want of more brains." And that line right there is kind of the essence of what you're getting from this story. Just reading the first chapter, that's how it feels. It feels very much like Pride and Prejudice, but with this weird zombie twist. Half your face rip. Oh, sorry. In the chat, it says half your face ripped off, but it's talking about the cover. I thought it was talking about like that I was over here or something. Whew, lives are difficult, guys. So anyway, it continues. It says, "So begins Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, an expanded edition of the beloved Jane Austen novel, featuring all new scenes of bone-crunching zombie mayhem. As our story opens, a mysterious plague has fallen upon the quiet English village of Meryton, and the dead are returning to life. Feisty heroine Elizabeth Bennet is determined to wipe out the zombie menace, but she's soon distracted by the arrival of the haughty and arrogant Mr. Darcy. What ensues is a delightful comedy of manners and plenty of civilized sparring between the two young lovers, and even more violent sparring on the blood soaked battlefield. Can Elizabeth vanquish the spawn of Satan? And over, sorry, I just, I wasn't expecting the spawn of Satan, so I just, yeah, just got a little giggly. And overcome by the can Elizabeth vanquish the spawn of Satan and overcome the social prejudices of the class conscious landed gentry? Complete with romance, heartbreak, sword fights, cannibalism, and thousands of rotting corpses, Pride and Prejudice and Zombies transforms a masterpiece of world literature into something you'd actually want to read. I I actually never read this before. It's like the blurb. That's great. I love it. I love it. I love it. No, in the chat, I did not read the blurb beforehand. I just knew, like, I mean, just from the cover or just from the title, it's Pride and Prejudice plus zombies. But yeah, I didn't know we were going against the spawn of Satan. So this is gonna be fun. Um, so let's jump into the first chapter summary. So, in the first chapter, we find out that that Netherfield Park, which I think is, I don't really know how this works in England, what they call them, but it's like a house, but it's like tons of land, so it's a park. I don't know. I Sorry, anybody from England. I know that I'm lame on England information. So anyway, so find out that that Netherfield Park was invaded and devoured by zombies. I think it said 18 people were devoured in the zombie attack, so that's fun. Mr. Bennett mentions Mr. Bennett's the well. I mean, this is the only character that we know so far. Mr. Bennett and his wife. Um, actually, Mrs. Bennett mentions to her husband that a young man of large fortune named Mr. Bingley moved into the Netherfield Park residence. So she wants to present her daughters to Mr. Bingley and hopes that there will be some kind of marriage proposal. And Mr. Bingley just says, "What are you talking about? Because there's this plague going around and zombies everywhere. So why are we worried about our daughters getting married off right now when we're literally fending for our lives?" Um, so it was a fun 2 pages of content. Still haven't met the main character. There's just not a ton to go off at this point. When it comes to predictions, especially. So, and the other problem is that I know Pride and Prejudice. We had to read Pride and Prejudice in high school. There's like a million movies based off of it. And so to come up with to come up with predictions is a little like it's just gonna be like, oh, I know that Elizabeth's gonna end up with Mr. Darcy, and it's like there's some possible twists because it's zombies and spawn of Satan's in here, but I just don't feel like there's it's worth making predictions. Except I do have one because I gotta do at least something say at least something random crazy in these predictions and first impressions videos, and that is that I think that let's see. Oh yeah. So Mr. Whitcomb hasn't been mentioned in the blurb or in the book, but I mean, I know the story, but I think that Mr. Whitcomb in this version is going to like be some kind of crazy scientist and is the reason that there's zombies. Like he came up with the like plague or something, and that's why he's such a bad dude. But who knows? Like it's just a straight up shot in the dark trying to make this crazier than it already is. Um, and let's see. So, let's see. I already said some of that stuff. Yeah. So, like thoughts and feelings. I'm in. Like this has been fun. It feels like a Victorian novel still the way it's written. It feels like it even has Jane Austen as one of the authors. It really feels like a derived work of Jane Austen, but like fun because it's got zombies. So I would say that my first impression or my like expectations of this are pretty spot on so far, and I am like full speed ahead on Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. So that's it. What do you guys think of Pride and Prejudice and Zombies? Actually, we've got some comments. Let's see. I guess chats. They're not comments. Let's see. My only complaint is that it followed Pride and Prejudice prose a little too closely. I Oh, and even the same jokes. Yeah, if you are very familiar with Pride and Prejudice, I do wonder if it's going to be a little like boring because you've already had that joke or something like that, and just the prose is a little bit more difficult because it's based off like an older style. However, I kind of think that it's going to like stray away from that. Even like it said in the blurb that there's new scenes and stuff, and like Elizabeth's gonna be like hacking heads. So like I kind of think that they're probably going to deviate from those like same jokes at some point, but it is going to be very much Pride and Prejudice. Let's see. And another comment said it was more fun than I thought. So very nice. Oh, and they figured it would be dark, but it was more fun. Yeah, I thought it would just be fun, to be honest. But I can see how you would think it would be dark. Because it is like zombies are a horror like element, an element in horror stories, and very often take on dark tones. I'm feeling like it's gonna be kind of like Zombieland, though. It's just like, what is this? A couple announcements. So I guess just really one announcement. Next week, our first chapter test or our first impressions, the book that we're going to check out is Way of Kings. Oh, I am so excited. Oh, by Brandon Sanderson. I left a link in the description for the first chapter so that you guys can read the first chapter with me if you haven't already. I know this is like a crazy popular book, so a lot of you have already read it probably. But if you haven't, check it out with me. And if you have already read it, like, don't miss this video because I'm going to make predictions and they are going to be crazy stupid because I literally know nothing about Stormlight. I have tried to stay as far away as I can as I've been reading other Cosmere books so that I don't get it ruined because I hate that when everybody's talking about it, it gets ruined. So I've stayed away from all conversations about Stormlight. So this is going to be interesting to see what I think. That live is going to be next Wednesday, always on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, May 18th. Hit that notification bell because you don't want to miss this. And yeah, we're just going to discuss the first chapter and like the 4 or 5 prologues of Way of King. Way of Kings. Got a couple people saying, "Oh, definitely be reading that." I'm wondering if that's somebody said they'll definitely be reading that. I'm not sure if that's Pride and Prejudice and Zombies or if that's Way of Kings, since now I'm talking about Way of Kings. But either way, read on. Thanks guys for showing up. It's been a fun live, and even if you are not watching it live, thank you. It means a lot to me that you guys are watching and enjoying my videos, and I will see you guys in the next adventure.